Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for the collective whole. This is an energy update. I also plan to be doing a live energy session, group energy session. And this energy session is going to help to anchor in the new coding that's coming here from somewhere out there. So let's go ahead and get started. So a lot of shifting going on last night. The energy was very, very intense. I definitely couldn't sleep. I ended up coming live. What time in the morning? I'm awake. So I don't know if you guys could sleep last night or if you guys were also feeling something like, I don't know what, but definitely lots of things going on. I don't feel like it was a fear-based couldn't sleep. It felt like, I was trying to explain this last night. I went live. I was trying to explain this last night where it's like you're excited about a trip that you're going on, but you're exhausted from preparing. You're exhausted and you know you still have to travel. So it's like a tired, anxious excitement, if that makes sense. Definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. All right. Interesting. So just getting our cards ready. How have you guys been feeling? Oh, you've been feeling it all day. All right, let's see. Okay. So there have been a lot of shifts. There's probably going to continue to be a lot of shifting going on. A lot of things causing us to really look within ourselves, changes within our relationship dynamics, at work, all of that, like shifts on every level. And, you know, some of these shifts for most of us may prove to be very challenging. But if you calibrate your mindset to, you know, see the truth of what's going on, I think it can be a very empowering thing, like a very, very empowering thing. So I was sharing that yesterday, went grocery shopping, and there was restrictions placed on the quantities of every item that you purchase. And some people might see it as like, oh my God, we're becoming some sort of communist country, and, you know, just really fear-based, anger-based. But I saw it as something ridiculously beautiful. Like, you know, we, out of fear and need to survive, this feeling of a need to survive, we often forget, like, the people who wouldn't be able to do much and be left out with no supplies would be the elderly, you know, while everyone else who is able and has funds and this and that go and hoard things out of fear. The elderly oftentimes have to wait, you know, and the shelves will be empty by the time they get there. So this restriction, although it's inconvenient, it doesn't serve my selfishness, unbalanced selfishness. It's actually very good because these huge corporations, one of the stores that I went to yesterday to try and get some groceries for my kids was Costco. And Costco is huge. Costco is huge. They don't have to comply with, you know, any compassionate moves, but they were restricting the amount of toilet paper you could get. Beautiful. I was like, this gives people a chance, you know? This gives everyone that's in this store right now a chance to secure a package for themselves. And that's huge to me. It tells me that despite there being a huge corporation, They care about their community. They're protecting their community. So you guys, make sure you see the positive aspects of what's going on as well, okay? There's a lot of positive going on mixed in with, you know, things that are not so positive. So let's see. Okay, card number 26, second house, owning. This is about really taking accountability for what you're buying into. Ooh, let that sink in. What are you buying into? Are you buying into a fear-based thing? Are you allowing yourself to be run by some narrative that really we don't know what this narrative is about? You know, we're being given very minimal information. And that minimal information is really fear-based. It's causing people to act in such a way that's really not in alignment with what we need to be doing, which is looking out for each other. We need to be looking out for each other, okay? So we're going to have to take responsibility for what we choose to be a part of. With this owning aspect, there's another layer to this message. I'm trying to, hold on really quick. There's a component. Okay, so it's tied to the Two of Pentacles, business affairs, the building of a home, laying down foundations, recognizing what's valuable. So in this time, we're laying down a foundation, and really, in many ways, as a globe, as a singular race, we're being forced to see what is valuable. And what's valuable is life. Okay, it's life. And, you know, there's no better way to reunify than to cause all of us to basically struggle with the same thing. Because we really, and I've said this before several times, human beings have a tendency to be like, well, no, that's happening over there. It's not us. It's them. They have the problem. It's not our problem. And really, this is our problem. As a globe, this is our problem. We've been separated for too long. And this is really reunifying us in our struggle. So there's beauty in this. There is beauty to be seen in this. There really is. Will. We have the will to get through all the phases of whatever this is. When I say phases of whatever this is, immediately fear comes to mind. Oh my God, is she just not telling us? I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where this is leading, but I do know wherever this takes us, we have the option of making this a really beautiful, beautiful, powerful moment of reunification. We have the power to do that. And if you're fearing, you know, things regarding government and this and that, how many people are in government? How many? A couple hundred? A couple thousand? Right? World governments, maybe a couple thousand individuals who represent and work with governments, high levels of government. There's billions of us. Governments exist because we allow it. Okay? We allow it. So when we get to a point where we're realizing this is a world problem, I'm a part of this world, so it's my problem too. That's a very powerful, powerful place for all of us to reach, where we're now becoming unified in our desire to exist in a different way, a way that has less fear, a way where more people are taken care of. It not just the select few are being provided for. So you guys, we have to really see this for what it is. Okay. Yes, initially it's very scary because we don't know what's going to happen. But if you think about it, when you drive to work, you don't know what's going to happen either. You have some expectation because that's your routine. But is that guaranteed? Is it guaranteed that that's what's going to happen today? What happens every day? No, it's not. So you need to see this as we're coming back to work. We're being activated to go to work. And this work involves the shifting of your consciousness, the allowing of a release of this fear. It doesn't mean all of us are no longer going to be afraid, but it also means just because you feel afraid doesn't mean there's actual danger. You have to use your discernment, okay? It doesn't mean there's actual danger. It's not a guarantee that worst case scenario is going to happen. It definitely means you have to analyze where this fear is coming from. Why do you feel afraid? Because of the news? Because of social media posts? Because you see the grocery stores empty? Why do you feel afraid? Okay, you have to analyze where that fear is coming from. So card number 1, make peace with your past. We have this hole just burning inside each and every one of us because we really haven't been making peace with our past. You look at the history of humanity at large, and at one point or another, pretty much all of us, all groups, have experienced some sort of abuse at the hands of another group, and we haven't made peace with it. You see several groups that are very vocal about all of these atrocious things were done to my people in the past, which absolutely, you should never forget the history of your people. You should never forget that. And you should hold people accountable who choose to continue to perpetuate that degradation. Absolutely, you need to hold people accountable. But do you need to continue to live in that space? Absolutely not. You need to make peace with it. The past can no longer be changed. Okay? It doesn't matter what race you are. The past can no longer be changed. But you have every say in how the future is co-created. So when you continue to exist in that past frame of mind, you continue to bring that past into your present. So really, it's not a race that's an issue, because people will make their statements that I don't agree with, and that's fine. Where, this specific race is a problem. No, it's the mindset. It's the mindset that's causing you to point the finger at a specific race that's the problem. That's what perpetuates the problem. And it's not that we need to get over it or act like the past never happened, because that's when you enter that dangerous territory of repeating it. Okay? So we have to make peace with our past. As a people, we have to make peace with our past. When you come from nations that have conflict, a lot of that gets programmed into the children. Okay? A lot of that gets programmed into the children, where they feel they have to perpetuate this separation. Yes, Bob Marley, seriously, was a prophet. He was a prophet. And that's why they wouldn't allow him to continue living. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can see our mind. I thought it was free our mind. That's fine. That's fine. But you do have to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. I think that's what this process is really about. The emancipation of the mind, the heart, and the soul. So right now, we're still existing in a surface level. There's something deep within us, and that deep thing for many is still in a state of slumber. Now, that doesn't mean anything. It just means there's a need to recognize it at this point, okay? This recognition is important. See that lotus flower coming from her belly. That has a lot to do with us rebirthing ourselves. This recognition that, yes, we may be in murky waters, but this is our element. This is our element. This is where we thrive. Stop trying to convince yourself that, oh, if I was in a different type of environment, I'd have such a better life. No, you wouldn't, because your mindset would still be the same. Okay? Your mindset would still be the same. I know quite a few people who have had the opportunity to change their economic standing, their financial standing. Their life still sucks because they never changed their mindset. If you have a victim mindset, you will always exist as a victim. This is bottom line. I don't care how much you make, how little you make. I know quite a few people who are destitute and have the most beautiful life. The most beautiful life. Yes, it's hard. Yes, they have to go without a lot of the material things they'd like. But God, their life is so beautiful. To be that free mentally, spiritually. One of the most freeing, beautiful times of my life is when I lived as a vagabond by choice. I was nomadic by choice. Nothing tied me down. Everything that was important to me, everything that was of value to me, fit inside an RV. And people be like, God, that's so crazy. What about all your things? What about all my things? It's in storage. I don't care. I'm at a point where my things have been in storage for so long, I don't even know why I continue to pay for storage. It's just old things. But again, we don't make peace with our past, so we hold on to all these old things. Things that you hold on to tend to be triggers for certain memories, like, childhood toys, things like that. When you see it, when you feel it, and you hold it, it brings you back to a time that is associated with that item. So if you're holding on to a lot of things, maybe that's needing to be acknowledged as a fear of impermanence, a fear of that period of your life disappearing. No one can ever take your memories from you. Good or bad, no one can ever take them from you. And it really just depends on what you choose to fixate on. If you want to fixate on negative memories, then that's what it's going to be, negative. Ooh. So card number 41, North Node, life's purpose. We all chose to be here. I want to just lay that out there right now. Whether you agree with that statement or not, that's a fact. We all chose to be here. Well, it's a fact for me. North Node has a lot to do with like your interactions with other people, what you're here to learn. All done. 10 of Cups, positive karma, the soul's enlargement, being in the right place at the right time. This is about life's purpose, balance, memories of previous lives, reinforcement, support, movement forward. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, undiscovered talents, fulfillment, the things we can fall back on, being in the flow, trusting destiny, meaningful exchanges, inner balance. Basically what's going on right now. This is all part of our North Node. Okay, this is all part of our North Node. We all agreed. We volunteered. No one forced you to be here. Okay, we all agreed to come into this life. Now, these two cards, card number 40 and card number 33, darkness, translucence, love the darkness. Ooh, look at that. This is a very dark period for many of us. This is a very dark period for many of us. I think soul traps, that concept, many of the concepts that we allow ourselves to really embrace, I think a lot of that is part of the controlled opposition. It's to perpetuate the feeling of lack of power, this powerlessness, like something outside of me forced me to be here and I'm stuck here. No, those are agreements. Those are absolutely agreements. Oh, that's a karmic tie that I have with someone and that's why I can't get rid of. No, it's because the two of you keep fucking around. The two of you keep fucking around. Previous life, you didn't finish the lesson that you had to finish, that you agreed, promised each other you would learn together in whatever way, shape, or form. So now that lesson comes into this life. There's no victims. None. None. There have been people who have done like really, really ugly things to me in my life. And they victimized me. They this and they that. And, it must be some karmic debt. No. For whatever reason that my brain can't understand and does not agree with, these events had to happen to me. I had to experience them with that particular individual because this is how I grow. Am I okay with it? No. I don't like those events. They created a lot of trauma within me. And am I a victim? No. For whatever reason that my human brain cannot process or grasp, those are things I agreed to. And I'm pretty sure once I'm out of this life, I'll understand better. So no, I don't believe in soul traps. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't believe in soul traps at all. Any concept that tells you something outside of you decided for you, I don't believe in that at all. At all. So the darkness, we have to allow ourselves to be fully immersed in whatever darkness it is that we're being immersed in. And here's the thing. We've been so convinced by so many people for so many generations that we really are powerless. They've had us burning our flames very, very low. We're down to embers at this point. And when you're working with an ember and you're in the bright light, it seems like it's worthless. Like, oh, whatever. It's on its way out. But in reality, when you immerse that ember in darkness, and surround it with darkness, you see the gravity of its glow. You see the potentiality of its ability to reignite itself. And that's what this period is. This period of humanity, of our human evolution, as a collective whole and as individuals, it's all about the reignition. Okay, relighting our sacred flame, allowing ourselves to recognize the gravity of who and what we are, what we're here to experience. Yeah, that's right, Bo. It says it makes sense. Gosh, 1,000 opinions about what this is all about. I guess in the end, it's up to oneself which path, opinion, way to choose. It really is. It's a lot easier for us to externalize and, oh, someone else did this to me. Someone did that. Someone took this. Someone deprived. Someone this, that. In actuality, that's not someone. We chose that. Every single one of us chose specific details, and it's a really simple yet very complex thing. Okay, patterns. We are experiencing patterns. Isn't that the first time this type of situation has happened within modern societies? This is not the first time the gravity of change has been this extreme within the collective whole. There's a lot of things that go on. These are patterns, external as well as internal patterns that are really coming to the surface. They're coming to the light. Let's see. Card number 52, void of course, moon missing. We're not going to have solid answers. We're not going to have solid answers. Okay. This is a time where we have to just be fully present and be able to fully experience. So, card number 9, assessing. Allow yourself to rise up to the top of what you've co created and assess what it is you've co created. Okay. When you're assessing, it's not about blame. Assessment has everything to do with analyzing all the aspects so you can make an informed decision moving forward. What will you choose? You can't make an informed decision if you don't have all the components. Okay. So that's what kind of we're experiencing right now, this recognition of the components that have been hidden for some time. It's needing to come forward. It's needing to be really viewed, really observed. No more of that making excuses and trying to turn it into a pissing contest of theories. And it's just, yeah, no. Card number 21, it's time to lead. It's time to lead. It's time for you to lead yourself. Gone are the days where you simply need to follow behind someone else. There will be those who will go before you, not because they're needing to lead you, but because that's where their path takes them. And if you want, you can follow behind for a short period until you gain your bearings. But you weren't created to simply follow. Okay? You weren't created to simply follow. Revolution. The most powerful revolutions often occur in silence. This is an internal revolution. Okay. We are completely changing the way we see the world, the way we see ourselves, the way we see life, the way we see our interactions with others. It's time for this change to occur. It's really time for this change to occur. Okay. Hold on. Do our life choices influence our soul when we die? Or is it our soul that influences our life choices? See, the human brain tries to make this one class, if we're to make an analogy, okay? It's an analogy. Every life is a class in a college course, okay? That course is what leads to the degree. You're trying to earn your BS degree, master's degree, PhD, well, it doesn't matter, okay? The degree. You have a specific major in mind, and this life is nothing but one course in that path to that major, earning that major in college. So humanity tries and make that one course the entire journey. It's not. It's not. So the choices that the soul makes is what affects this life, not the other way around. The soul decides what the potentialities you can choose from as options. It picks and chooses. Okay, you have these 3 options. Okay, this time you have 2 options. Okay, this time your option does not involve removing this event. Your option is how this event's going to be experienced versus avoiding the event altogether. I found that there are varying degrees and levels of events. Some events were slated as an option, a potentiality for your life to grow you personally. Those events you can choose for yourself whether you're going to go through with it or you're going to choose to avoid it and learn the lesson in a different way, a way without experiencing the actual event. Then there's other events that are much more elevated. They encompass more souls than just yourself. Those events are major events, and you don't get a say whether they happen or not, but you do get a say in the way you experience it. The problem here is the human mind keeps trying to make itself the priority over everyone else, failing to realize we are a tapestry interwoven with each other. There is not one string more important than the other, because when one string gets messed up, the whole tapestry gets affected. So if you can just kind of pull yourself back from this, like, well, why do I have to? I don't know. Ask your soul. I didn't plan your life. Ask your soul. Well, why do the kids? I don't know. That's not my path. That's not my life. For me to sit here and try and pretend that I know and have answers would be a lie. Well, if there's a God, how come some babies are... Okay, well, did you ever think that maybe some souls don't want to experience the fuckery in this planet and just want to experience being in a physical body for a short period, and before they're actually born they choose to leave? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I needed to be here in this life. My mother nearly died giving birth to me. I was born premature and it was an emergency C-section. It was such an emergency that as soon as I was delivered, they did a full hysterectomy. We both almost died. But you know what? Regardless of what was attempted to keep me from experiencing this life, it can never usurp the decisions my soul has made. Ever. Ever. I can't even sabotage it for myself. Because no matter what, those events that are a bigger umbrella that encompass more people than just myself and my growth, they will not allow for me to go back on my promise. This is what I volunteered for. The promise. I don't want to be live. I don't want to be live streaming. I don't want to be sharing my thoughts with people because my thoughts always go against the grain. Well, guess what? That's why I exist. Because I go against the grain. I refuse to be placed in a box. And so if you allow yourself to really begin to embrace whatever it is your soul planned for you in this life, you won't struggle as much. Your struggle is when you fight yourself. It's when you fight yourself, you know? This planet is where souls are to be eaten, or whatever the quote was. If you want to exist in fear, yeah, something out there is going to eat you. Okay. Okay. You know, like, If you look at creation, it's a stair-step creation. Whatever you're seeing here on this earth, it's a scaled-down model of something bigger. So we have to eat, right? We have to eat. Animals eat. Other things eat. Does that mean you're being victimized? Does that mean for whatever reason you've made some sort of agreement with something else and for a period of time? Yes, you can. And to really, really clarify, there are people who come to me knowing that my specialty is parasitic extraction, and they want me to identify the causations of things. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? There's a parasitic issue that's causing some of the physical ailments that you're experiencing. You want me to identify the root causation? That's the root causation. I'm not afraid. You shouldn't be afraid. That can be rectified. And so what do? They run in fear because they don't want to have it removed. They don't want to have it removed because it's scary. Well, if that's the case, which is the case for many people, that's the case for many, many people. Okay. This fear. So you're willingly allowing it to eat you. So no, I don't feel bad for nobody. I don't feel bad for nobody. Demonic things exist to further fuel your rise. Whatever demonic intentions are, it doesn't matter. The things that are allowed to happen to you are allowed by your higher self to shape and mold you into who you need to be, who you're becoming, who have you been, who you are right now. All of these events, experiences help to form who you are. They prepare you for another level, layer, and part of your journey. So really, I don't feel anyone is a victim. I do feel that there are people who exist who try to victimize other people. Whether you allow them to victimize you or not, that's your choice. 73% at 937. 73937 mirrors. Completion, foundation, 0 point. Foundation, completion. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but totally makes sense to me. I gotta get going. I still have my coffee from yesterday.
This is fresh though. I made it for you.
You're gonna make me die. I love you too.
This will get you good through.
If I die from all this caffeine, I want you to cremate me. Cremate me. Put my ashes in a Ziploc bag and take me backpacking.
You still got that one right here.
Which one? Yeah, see? Look, you trying to kill me with caffeine.
I didn't do this. You did this.
You trying to kill me with caffeine.
You did what?
This man. Let me see. You always wonder about the movie MIB with a kitty having a universe on her neck belt. Always thought that was a cool. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? That might be something that's real. What guy? I think he's not understanding.
You asked for the word, and I gave you the word that you were asking for.
I honestly think you have a parasitic situation. I know. It was a misunderstanding. I honestly feel like you have a parasitic situation, and I'll tell you why. I'm not scanning you, but oftentimes parasites can latch on. It's the left side of your head, right around here. It's called the Wernicke's area, and that's the part of your brain that's responsible for interpreting audible communication. It can distort it. So I could say something to you that's very benign and you receive it as like, oh my God, why would she say that to me? Well, I don't know. What did I say? I'm not joking. You might have, the feeling is you have a parasitic issue. Okay. I don't know. Anyways, let me finish up and get you guys the last bit of information. We are pulling in higher levels of coding. A lot of the fear mongering that's going on has to do with flooding this field, this 3D plane of existence with extremely high energy. And what that does, it excites the essence of parasitic things. It's just like when you're looking at I I guess, matter, less energy, excuse me, because when energy excites something, it causes movement, which causes friction, which causes heat. So less energy tends to equal colder temperatures. So if you look at it, ice has less energy, it's more dense, right? And then water is liquid, and then steam is gas. Well, when you take an ice cube and you place it in a hot spot where there's more energy, more friction, then it starts to melt and the particles get excited. That's what's going on right now as we're melting, as we're dissolving the veil, the illusion of separation. That amount of energy is exciting the molecules of parasitic things. And so they're really ramped up right now. That's why everyone's feeling so scared and everything. It's really ramped up right now. What are you going to do with that? You can harness that energy. Steam engines, things like that. You can harness that energy if you choose. Or you can just keep boiling the water until everything dissipates and be like, oh shit, all my water's gone. It's up to you. It's really up to you what you want to do. There are no victims. And that statement of there are no victims does not imply that I'm okay with people attempting to victimize other people. That's not okay. A lot of the circumstance that happens in this world, I'm not okay with. I'm not in agreement with. I'm not okay with. I would change if I had the power to change. And the fact is, I don't have the power to do that. I don't have the authority to rob you of the experiences that your soul wants you to have in this life. I just don't. All right. Yep. 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 All right. First card 103, spiritual sovereignty. We're here together as sovereigns. And if you truly believe in the laws of sovereignty, you truly believe and see yourself as a sovereign, then you have to know, you cannot tell anyone else what to do. Just like no one else is allowed to tell you what to do, you cannot tell anyone else what to do, okay? So this is a recognition of everybody needs to experience their journey however they're going to experience it. We're living in a paradox right now. Card number 38, paradox. And it's getting to a point where most of the souls here are in agreement that things are needing to be changed, needing to be shifted, and that's what we're heading towards. Once we reach critical mass, which I believe we've reached it, and that's why these events are taking place. Once we reach critical mass, there's no stopping the flow. You just can't stop it. You can't. And people will be like, well, how? No, that's not true because we're still rising to 5D. If you look at the prevalence of people experiencing paranormal, parasitic things, seeing things, feeling things, experiencing things. Even the Vatican years ago allowed information to be shared publicly regarding how this is the most amount of sanctioned exorcisms they've ever had in the history of the Catholic religion. That's because we're already anchored in the fifth dimension. We have been for quite some time. We're anchored in the fifth. In whatever dimension you're anchored in, you experience everything beneath that. Most parasites are fourth dimensional beings. Our body is third dimensional. Just because you've closed your third eye and refused to allow yourself to see, just because you've made yourself deaf to energy, does not mean you're not anchored in the fifth. So we've pretty much all been anchored in the fifth for some time now. And as we're rising up, preparing to anchor into the sixth, we're going to begin to experience that fifth dimensional shift. And if you think about it, what is contained in the fifth dimension? Your compassion, your soul purpose, all of these beautiful things that help with healing, self-healing, helping other people to heal. And that's what this is. That's what this is. It takes a massive surge of energy to level you up. massive surge. And all of this that's going on is what's initiating that massive surge. The work that I do, I don't know if you'll find it anywhere else. I've coined a term. It's called a trauma-induced accretion. There is no more efficient way than the use of trauma to initiate the accretion, accelerated accretion of frequency. So the whole world is being traumatized right now. Oh no, that's a bad thing. Emmie, how can you promote this? No, recognize it for what it is. This is a trauma-induced accretion. This is the initiation on a global scale of an ascension cycle. Like I said, you got a couple thousand handlers. How are they going to stop a couple billion chomping at the bit to rise? Ooh, you can't stop that. You can't. You just cannot stop that, okay? So card number 35, deep polarity. A deep polarity is occurring. Very deep polarity. It was initiated a couple weeks or maybe a couple months back. I have no concept of time. I literally never know what fucking day it is. Deep polarity. This polarity needs to occur. The polarizing is what helps for the movement of energy. When you just have a hodgepodge, kind of breeds stagnation. But when you have a positive and a negative, that then creates the flow. How do you think the air currents work? Go from high to low. That's because they have a polarity, a different charge. And so that's what's going on. Forgiveness and gratitude is important. But remember, deep polarity, right? Forgiveness and gratitude is important, but so is the feminine principle. And if you've heard me talk about this before, look at creation. Oftentimes, the male is bigger or stronger than the female of the species. Which one is more savage? I'd say the female. The female usually is more vicious. And that's not said as a bad thing. That's a recognition of a power that can be harnessed. That feminine principle, we all have feminine energy within us. And if you allow yourself to harness this, like me as a mother, there's times where I could be very docile, but you fuck with my kids, I promise you, that's not going to end well for you. And I don't give a shit what the consequences for me. That's not going to end well for you. As a feminine, I will fuck shit up if you try and mess with my kids or my husband. Notice how calmly I state that. Yeah. So you have to be soft and you also have to be firm. You have to allow the totality of you to come together. Come together. It's time. It's time. So it's time for us to experience a community with good intentions. Okay? It's time for us to come together, take care of each other, be transparent, really just experience this period of our growth as a collective whole together. And look, masculine principle, feminine principle. Really, the masculine to me personally, I think one of the most powerful expressions of masculinity is being able to use that brute strength to lift up the family unit. Not only is that highly attractive to me, that's also just such a show of power to be able to have the kind of strength to inflict utter destruction, yet choose to use it to build and uplift and fortify. Wow. That's nice. That's really nice. Exactly. The mother of a species is savage. It isn't the feminine. Once you become a mother, you've turned into a different creature. But here's the thing. We're not talking about feminine as in like girly dresses. And no, I'm talking about the root of the female, that feminine essence. It's a totality. It's an absolute totality. It's more than just mother. It's more than just childless. It's the epitome of all of it. But absolutely, once you become a mother, and you don't have to have given birth to be a mother. once you bond with another in that way, you have that mother instinct. And you don't have to be a woman to have that mothering instinct. We have both masculine and feminine within us, all of us. So card number 44 is secrecy. 4 is the number of the self. 4 is the number of self. This is us standing shoulder to shoulder. They want to keep it a secret. They want to keep it a secret that we are here as equals. And when we come together, 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 being the number of reunification. We are here to reunify. It's time. It's time to reunify. And if this is something you can't get behind, I completely respect that. But please know we're reaching critical mass. Regardless of what you want or believe, we're reaching critical mass, and this is something that will be pushed through. And it might be your human mind that doesn't agree, that doesn't consent. But again, the soul cannot be told to do based on the tantrums of a human mind. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. The soul will always get its way. And this is your soul deciding this for you, not me, not mine, not anyone else's. This is your soul deciding this for you. And if you need to go through a period of extreme suffering in order for you to come to terms with what your soul is deciding for you, that's a decision you make. That has nothing to do with anyone else. If you want to blame other people, that's up to you. But the assigning of ownership of decisions you've made that led you to where you're at, assigning that to other people, what was the first card? Owning. You have to take ownership of every decision you've made or lack thereof. Oh, but I didn't do anything. Why is it? Well, you made a decision to allow someone else to decide for you. You made that decision. You gave that power over. And this is why it's been so important for me to go ahead and share some of these developments that I've been coming across in regards to the CDC, informed consent. Yes, it has a lot to do with vaccination programs, but even with that, I'm not pro-vax or anti-vax. Those posts are about how you need to recognize you're not being given the full scope of exactly what you are giving consent for. It is not my place to tell you whether or not you should vaccinate or any other medical procedure, but I am absolutely obligated to encourage you to gather as much information as you can from as many different sources as you can so that you can make a fully informed decision for yourself, for your family, for whatever it is you need to do. Okay? This is all about informed decisions. Should you go and, like hoard groceries? Well, where's your information coming from? Oh, because the news told you. They all carry the same narrative. There's so much information out there that has proven time and time again, across the board, they are given the same narrative to disseminate. So you have to get this from all kinds of different sources. And I'm not going to tell you what sources. Let your higher self guide you. Let your soul guide you. Okay? This isn't about me telling you how to do things, when to do things, what things to do. This is about me challenging your ability to hold yourself accountable. When you know you can't blame anyone else, you're going to be less likely to make a decision without all the facts. And you can't do that anymore. You can't pass it off to other people. You can't blame other people. Your life is fucked up. Chances are there's something that needs to be examined within you if you feel the need to blame. But if you don't feel the need to blame, look what's within you and see what needs to be adjusted in some way, like a mindset, a perception, and see how that helps. See how that helps. Just like Bob Marley said, none but ourselves can free our minds. None but ourselves. Okay, this is your job to do this for yourself. People like me exist to serve as triggers for your remembrance of your own greatness. Nothing more. Nothing more. Okay. If you've been blaming others, you have to analyze where that comes from. And you guys, it's so normal and common for us to blame other people. This is not about, oh, you're fucking up because you're blaming it. No, because that plays the blame game again. This is about, hey, why is it that you blame other people? Is there something you're afraid, to take responsibility for? Look within yourself and get those answers for yourself. Okay. And there's no need to blame. There's no need to blame. I know my session's coming. Can you knock on my door in 2 minutes? At 59. That's 3 minutes. Okay. You guys breathe very deep and very slow. If you are in agreement with participating, beautiful. If not, you can continue watching and nothing happens. My energy will always honor your sovereignty without permission from your highest self. It will not enter your space. So whatever your human mind decides, I don't know. But this energy will not be allowed to be felt or any of that by you unless your higher self agrees. All right. We're going to be doing energy work together to help anchor in more high frequency, to really speed along whatever this is that we're experiencing together. I would like for the fear portion of this journey together to be resolved as quickly as possible. This is not going to be fully done in just a day or two. This is a process for all of us. But I would like the fear aspect to be finished, resolved very quickly. So breathe very deep and very slow. Inhale the light of your truth. Exhale the darkness of your doubt. Inhale the light of your truth. Exhale the darkness of your doubt. See yourself in a dimly lit space. This space has no walls, yet feels very comfortable and safe. See in the distance a dim light, small at first, but as it approaches you, it becomes brighter and brighter. We're calling this light to us. It's now approaching the top of our head, above our head at our crown. Feel this light coming down, infusing into your crown space, going down the center of your body and out your feet into the earth. Feel the energy increase. Feel your personal power return back to you. Feel the gravity of who and what you are. You are important. You are here for a very specific purpose. As you release your fear and open yourself to receive your truth, you will find out what this is, what your purpose is. Allow yourself to come back home to you. Deep inhale, slow exhale. Just sit with this feeling very gently and very slowly. Open your eyes. Notice the difference in how you feel. Notice the difference in how you think. Notice the difference in how you see. Thank you guys so much for sharing with me this space. Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts and my interpretations. I invite you to really, really allow yourself to explore your thoughts in response to what I've shared. You have the power to do beautiful, beautiful things for yourself and for other people. I ask you to please use that power responsibly. There's no more need to blame. There's simply a need for you to be centered in your truth and live your actual purpose. So you guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. Bye, everyone.